right, you Ricans, we're back again this time. I'm Lou.
And I'm Mo. Welcome back to another session of Ricans. Dude,
Yeah,
so much has happened this weekend.
yeah.
I,
What's going on?
I'm still like in nerd heaven. Still, I haven't come down from my adventure. I had the pleasure of how can I say volunteering for the second year for this new event called Trek Long Island. And
Hey,
and the beautiful thing about it is it's bringing Star Trek and the convention sites back to New York, back to Long Island. And I have to say, it was a larger group now than it was before, and the fans were great. I mean, the stars themselves, the entertainers. Each one that I've gotten to meet personally, being as a volunteer, I interacted with them a lot, and I gotta say, I'm in heaven. These guys were so good, very sweet, very personable. The ladies were excellent. Um, there was not one person I can say that there was with an attitude. No, they were all there. They were all for the fans, and they talked, they entertained, photos. I mean, it was the works, man.
yeah.
Uh, I look forward to doing it again next year. I definitely do. It's always a pleasure to do that sort of thing.
Okay. Did you meet anybody in particular?
Oh, my favorites, my God, Melissa Navia. Oh my gosh, she's from Stranger World. She has this. She just finished filming season 3, and she still had her haircut. And we had this roundtable discussion, and I was asking her, who came up with the idea of the haircut, you know, and she said that her and the producers were talking, and then they came up with the look for her. And I said, look, from watching seasons 1 and 2 of her interaction and what she does, because there's a panel that happened on, I think it was Saturday. It says, I'm I'm um I'm Ortegas and I fly the ship. Erica Ortegas and I fly the ship. Yeah, I will be placing photos on Facebook on our Facebook page because, quite frankly, uh, wow, it's like it was an alumni of photos of both the new, the old. Some people from Strange New World, some from Disco, which is for some people, it's not a discotheque, it's a Discovery. Some from the Deep Space Nine, others from the old original series. A couple that were there. I'm telling you, it was big. So we're having this discussion with Melissa Navi, and I said, with the haircut on,
She's the
pilot.
navigator, right?
She's the pilot. Yep,
Yeah.
she's the pilot. And I was saying it in the interactions and what I was seeing with her, and I'm like, it's like you kind of remind me of Top Gun. I would see you as a Top Gun pilot, and it's like I even said I could see you now if it's Starfleet Academy and they introduce you like the way they introduced Maverick. It's like your Top Gun instructor. Her exploits are legendary. You know, she has real world experience. You will never find another pilot ever in Starfleet Academy. Uh, she will teach you what you need to know, which will be the difference between life and death. I present to you Erica Ortegas, call sign She Beast. And she I like that. I'm going to talk to the producers about that. I was like, cool, perfect. I want to see that because, quite frankly, it's like the way her character develops, and she was discussing one of the things that we as fans don't really know. It's like the whole layout in the background when an actor goes back and forth. It's like, yeah, they have these sessions when they sit down and they go over the script, but sometimes going over it and then when you're actually doing the scene and you're acting, there are moments it's like, this doesn't work. I mean, I could say it 100 times, but it doesn't. She did mention in one episode where, thankfully, the writing crew weren't meticulous or overbearing. They kind of saw, even though they wrote it after a couple of takes, even another actor was saying that this is not working and we need to cut this out. And they did. They eventually just cut that scene out or cut that word out because there's a continuity in conversation, especially when you're watching a scene, you know, and you want people to get involved and be like, oh, understand what's going on. And then if you throw something in there like in the monkey wrench and people go, what? It doesn't click.
I would have asked her about that episode where everybody was singing.
Yes, they did mention that.
Oh, they did. Okay, good,
They
good.
did mention about Space Rhapsody, and it was fun to do. It was fun. I remember I ran into Gooding, who plays the character of Uhura, and she comes from actually a Broadway background. So when she came on board, she was from Broadway, the stage, and then she's in the show. So when they talked about doing an episode that was going to be a musical, boom, like you already got her into her world. That's her, that's her strong suit. So she loved doing that, and they as well, because it was it was different, it was unique. I loved it because I never thought I see Klingons singing so badass ever, and they were killing it. I was like, what? I have to admit that was definitely that, and I think Old Scientists, when they brought in two shows together, Lower Decks, which is an animated feature, and then brought them into live action with Strange New Worlds.
That was an awesome, awesome, awesome.
Exactly. So it's like, and it was another point that I made to her about Navia, about the fact that her call sign, she should be a Top Gun pilot instructor, or whatever, or a Starfleet Top Gun pilot, because many he was pointing. I mean, he's like 120 years from the future, and there are times he kind of forget the temporal accords. You're not supposed to leak out information.
Right.
So there are certain things that they had to turn their backs on and allow, and then other times they had to look at him and stop. Like when he looked at Jennifer Ortega, says, "Okay, Ortegas, you're a war veteran. You're a war hero." I'm like, "Oh, come on now. Oops." It's like you let that one out. So again, I love how they did that, because they talk, when it comes to the actors themselves, it's always a pleasure. It's like these guys get together, they talk, they have this interaction, and you could almost see it even in the performance, that they're so connected, they're so well schooled in what they have to do, and yet on the background, it's a lot of work that they involve themselves in. I mean, it's not just for some that have to do the makeup, but then the actors themselves, when they read their lines, at that moment, it's like it either works or don't work. Yeah, and so there are times where she said that continuity and trying to make sense of things has to.
Yeah.
And one of the things I did point out, because I remember our first conversation, he was like telling me, it's like, what's better, Star Wars or Star Trek? And then I
Star
came
Wars.
across it. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll force choke you later. So we were sitting there, and I came across something like on the first night. I'm relaxing in the trailer, and I'm going through YouTube, and then somebody came up with this video. I have it saved, so I'll put it up so people could see it on our page, which was the guy discussing that as far as science fiction was concerned, and it made sense, that a lot of the science fiction people, this is me using the force to make you say Star Wars. Oh, damn, you did it. Use the Jedi mind trick. Oh, damn. Got me. So he was talking about, that how many of a lot of science fiction, it's either dystopian world, the world that's ravaged by war, or a world that is controlled or dominated by an empire. There is nothing in it that, in a lot of the science fiction shows, like another one, Terminator, where the robots take over and eliminate mankind, because somehow that was the equal way to create peace, was just to eliminate humans. So there was always something that was disastrous, like the end of all of us. Where Trek said, no, we fixed it. We fixed hunger. We fixed sickness. We took away war. And now we want to go and explore and connect to others. So what we did, we created a federation of planets, and we went out there to explore. So in essence, other than maybe the Orville, which somewhat close to Trek, that the whole idea is hope. The whole idea of that show. So like when you look at the difference now, it's like if I had to say the difference between Star Wars and Star Trek was more about hope and connecting with people. Star Wars is about fighting for freedom, fighting for the right to be who you are and challenge those who tell you you can't do this.
I find a little flaw in that though. In Star Trek, like you said, yeah, they don't show it. They don't show what happened, that they became the Federation. No hunger, no war. They don't show it. But there have been episodes of Picard, and there have been episodes of Enterprise
Mm-hmm.
when they go back in time and they do show what transpired at those moments.
Mm-hmm.
So they do touch on it. They do, but they don't go. They don't make it a whole big scene of it.
Star Trek First Contact with the Next Generation.
Yes.
It's right after the Third World War. Most of the cities are somewhat devastated, and they're pretty much are just living day by day. And that's where Zephyr Cochrane created the first warp ship, and he created it out of from an old IBCBM missile. So what was used to destroy was now going to be used to hopefully an era of peace for humanity. That's at least as the story tells. But even he said it himself. So, you know what I did it for? Money,
Mm-hmm.
lots of money. So he was honest, but because he was faced with the fact that the crew of the Enterprise from the 24th century are looking at him as
They
his idol.
idolized him. Yeah,
They
they
idol,
idolized him.
he's the man that brought peace. And they have with statues that he's pointing towards the future, schools and things and named after. And he was like, "What the hell? Hell no, 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 no! I did it for money."
Yeah.
But then what he didn't realize until it happened was that warp ship, when it took off for the first time, doing faster than light travel, caught the attention of a ship in the distance that was passing by this sector, and which eventually became the Vulcans. And they came to Earth to investigate. And that's how I see it. It's like it's gonna take something. I mean, we've come a long way. I'm not saying we still have a more long way to go. And science is about at that point to getting us there. And I think there's going to come a point in time, even Nostradamus had said it, that something huge that will then be so awe-inspiring that people are going to go, what the hell am I bitching about? This is, I mean, that's like when then a light bulb's supposed to come on and go, you know what? This is stupid. We shouldn't be doing this. We're better than this. And then become better. That's where the future then changes. And I think that's where humanity will go forward from there. That's what Star Trek is supposed to be about. That somewhere along the line, we came together, we said, this is stupid and we need to do better. And they did. And now we need to go out there and we want to explore and learn. And then we meet other cultures and learn from them, and they become part of our federation. Even from the first episode of Trek, where they found out from the last season of Discovery that the battle that they had to send Discovery to the future, because if not, there would have been no future. But in the battle, another species with telescopes good enough to see what was going on managed to see and reverse engineer warp technology. But warp technology was for faster than light travel. They develop it as a weapon. And then when Pike realized it, he was going to do something about it. And they said, well, General Order 1, screw General Order 1. Anything that happens, the blood is on our hands because of what has happened in that area. And
Mm-hmm.
action. He took action for it. And then other than Kirk, is as the only other person who has ever violated, or no, let me correct myself. Kirk, Picard, uh,
Janeway.
all of it's like it only tells me one thing, that even though Starfleet is a military group, it's not just following orders. It's also following your conscience. because even Kirk said it himself when Picard was talking about, I'm not thinking about retiring. He says, don't ever retire. Don't let them force you to promote you, because so long as you sit in that chair, you can make a difference. And that's, it does make sense. Now, when you think about it, oh, it's a great speech, but then when you look back at the history of the stories that they tell and the moments where, a decision had to be made, and whether it goes against Starfleet regulations, but the thing is, it's the right thing to do. It's the human thing to do, and that's who we are. That's who we are. It's like, can we sit back and watch a planet die, knowing that we might be able to save it? Yeah, it may go against the prime directive of non-interference. If it's supposed to die, it's supposed to die. But can you sit back and watch it happen?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna say something,
Mm-hmm.
and an Imperial starship is bigger than the Enterprise.
But not faster. Oh.
Well, they got light speed. They don't call
Yeah.
it warp. They call it light.
Yeah, and they could just fly circles around that Imperial destroyer, frontwards, backwards. They ain't gonna catch them.
Yeah, the destroyer.
It's gonna have a lot of holes in it too, because they got weapons.
I'm
It's not
talking
something that
about,
just goes circle, 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 and that's it.
yeah, I mean, you got Darth Vader that'll hold the ship real good right there.
See? Even our audience member says it. It's not the size that matters.
But it is the Force that matters.
Well, we got Force too, baby. We got the mind meld, the neck pinch, and put him to sleep.
Yeah, but there's no match for Darth Vader.
We'll see. Like I said, let's eat a torpedo. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, I mean, I hear that. You know what's funny is that there was a Star Trek. I mean, / Star Wars, Star Trek. Well, actually, it was a Star Wars Jedi group, right? And I kind of laughed because in the beginning, the show floor had like one row going down. You see Star Trek, and then as you turn left, there's a small hallway, a long hallway, and in that long hallway was one group. It was the Star Wars group, the Jedi group. But then they brought them out into the Senate, because they must have said, "Listen, it's kind of prejudice here, putting us into a lonely corner that nobody's gonna see us." So they put them on the show floor. But the thing is, one of them, and I love it because you can learn how to lightsaber duel, because they do a lot of shows, and you can come in any character you want. Actually, one of them was there in a part Jedi Starfleet uniform. It was like of his own creation, and had the Starfleet, the old Next Generation pin on him, and he had his own dual lightsaber. I was like, okay, where's the phaser, just in case, bro?
Did you go to the Comic-Con last year?
I always go to Comic-Con.
Right.
That's my pilgrimage, bro.
Right. Well, they had a bounty hunter like Boba Fett, and he was both. It was a pair, male and female, and they were the Puerto Rican Mandalorian suit. That was dope.
Hell yeah, that's what I love about it. The originality and the craftsmanship of these cosplayers. I mean, they can, when they create and fabricate, and then and then the love and passion that goes into cosplaying their characters. It's just not like, I wear I did order a Starfleet uniform, but once I put it on, I understand from the cosplayers. Like, once you put it on, it's like you represent it, So like when I have my dress uniform on and I'm wearing Kirk's lapel of all the awards, and people were like complimenting, and it's like, sharp. I said, this is a dress uniform. And a lot of times I wear that uniform. It's like, as funny as it sounds, like I feel like I'm a representative of Starfleet, so I got to act accordingly. I can't think like la 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 la. No, come on now. It meant it to me. It means something. So I understand, like, when they dress up as Mandalorians, they take. I'm pretty sure they'll take the creed seriously. You could probably ask them; they'll recite the creed.
I've always said it. Star Trek had the better stories. Star Wars has the better characters.
Yes, I'm gonna agree partially and disagree partially. I wouldn't say that the stories are better, because remember, as I said before, one is a story of hope, meaning that we came from where we are now to where we are in the future. And
Okay.
whereas in Star Wars, it is the beginnings of saying no and then showing the cause of what it takes and the passion that's fired for the rebellion to bring peace to the galaxy versus an oppressor who wants just to control you.
I'm gonna correct myself. They have the better established characters and stories, actual stories.
True. True.
Like
Okay, I'll
it's the
agree on that
continuity.
because it, the first three and then the second three and then finally and then you go backwards to in time to
Yeah.
when it all happened in the beginning. So, but I do have to slightly correct you because now that they're in the streaming and they have like the Mandalorian, um, Ahsoka, the Acolytes coming up. So it's basically they're now creating that verse.
Yeah,
Now
the
they're
universe.
showing
Yeah.
that continuity where it really began to where it is now and where it's going future wise. Because I like that. I like it that you don't have to wait like half a century for movies to come. Now you have episodes, you have shows that tie into
So
the original cast.
let me put this out here. Ricans, which one is better, Star Trek or Star Wars? And if so, which characters? Which characters do you feel more associated with in terms of Star Wars or Star Trek? I
That's a
see
red
what they say.
directive, everybody. That's a
Yes.
red directive
Red
imperative. We
directive.
need your answers on this.
Yes. I see what y'all come up with.
Mm-hmm. Another good thing about the convention was, like I said, I did security, and then they had me be an auctioneer. I can't remember the charity. I'll put it on the page what the charity it was and I'll tell you how much we earned. But they were looking for somebody to auctioneer. It's like, what do you mean auctioneer? And then it's like, oh, you mean that guy that goes 5, 5, 5, 7, 7, 7, 7, 5, 5, 7, 7, 7, I got 25 over here, 25, 25 over here, 30, 30. And it was like, can you do it? And in the back of my brain, I'm going, that little guy is going, stupid. That's what you get for opening your mouth. Go ahead, say some more, stupid.
Yeah, you was
I got
basically
roped
Yosemite.
into it. Oh, yeah, bro. Like
You
Ralph
was-
Crampton back in the honeymoon. I got a big mouth.
Yeah.
But suffice to say, it was fun. And as soon as I got up there, I mean, they had me prepared. They had cards for me to describe the items. And then the rest is just showmanship, The biggest item that was sold was this library, I think 12 by 15 of Patrick Stewart, signed by Patrick Stewart. So it just came out of a library and it was in somebody's attic. They brought it out and they put it up for auction. Believe it or not, once I started, it started getting crazy. At the end, it was sold for $12.30.
Wow.
$12.30. We started with $50 and it went up to $12.30, bro. It was going. I was like, yeah, no. $12.30 over here. Do I hit $12.25? Do I hit $4.40? $12.40? $4.45. And it was back and forth with these two people. And then when he came out with $12.30, she was like, too rich for my blood. But people were at it for a while.
What was an item that was handheld that went for the most?
The handheld was a 3D printed of DS9, and all the actors on board here at the convention, including like the 4 admirals from the Next Generation and the Next Generation, DS9, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, Strange New World. No, actually Discovery, and then Discovery cast that were there. The two, one I mentioned before. So everybody signed it. So you had it on each pylon and then across the pylon, and it sold for $465. That particular item.
Nice.
And it was nice. It was about maybe 6 inches wide by 6 inches high. Nice replica, 3D printed. I said I was hoping it's like, it would have been cute if they had like a mini Defiant attached to one of the docking ports, so you had that little extra there. But by itself, it was beautiful. $465 total. So in essence, we for the charity, again, escaping me. I wish I remember, but for that charity, we cleared $1,700. $1,600 to $1,700 for the charity on that auction. So I felt really good that I got involved with that.
Was the charity going to any particular organization?
Again, I'm gonna ask them again what it was so I can post it on our page.
Okay.
Because it just escaped. I know I was doing it for charity, so I drummed it up. I try to hype it up as much as possible, especially when it came to that bidding war. It was like a huge bidding war. That when it went out to 1,000, I was like, oh shit! I kept on going. Yes, I said it. Don't even look at me like that. Yes, I did. I know you were going to tell me about it, but yes, I did. I know.
The commercial break.
I caught it. But that's the only thing you could say at that moment. I shite. Oh my God, it's like lots of money.
I'm glad you know my facial feature now. Whenever you do it, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I know. I caught you. I know. I caught it, and I know everybody else gonna be like, "Oh, he said the F word." But it was that, man, because it was getting heated, and I was like, even at one point, it was like at 1,100. And so I hear one. I said 1140. I said, and then it went to 15, and then I looked at the person that got outbid, and I said, resistance is futile. She said 1,600, and I looked at him. Your life as it has been is over.
Yeah, that was nice.
Locutus of Borg came out, bro. Everyone's cracking up. I tell you, I got a lot of comments. Hey, that was fun. That's the first auction that was really fun. I said, well, it should be. I mean, yeah, you're bidding on stuff, and we got heated. And I don't mean like people got mad at each other. It's like it got boom, back and forth.
Yeah.
When it got to 12:30, and then she said, I'm done. That was it. I'm done.
Nice.
And he won it. And I was like, I saw him later. I said, congratulations. That was the most fun I ever had buying anything. I said, cool. Like I said, enjoy it. It's yours. You got something to brag about when people say, look, I got Jean-Luc in my living room.
You might be stuck with that next year now.
I know. That they're going to look at me, and I'm pretty sure they're going to go, can you do it again? I'm going to be like, yeah, why not? Why not? To me, it was like, I like to approach things with a fun attitude. And I like to make it fun. It's like, I'm gonna be like, guy says, do I hear 365? Do I 365 over here? Do I hear 370? It's like that gets boring. But when I turned it into, Locutus of Borg, and I said resistance is futile, people were laughing, and it just made them jump more.
Yeah,
made them jump more, and I loved it. I really did. I mean that and playing, the guest service and escorting, the stars and having those mini conversations. I didn't know Locke, your character, Elias, he's a big fan of the original series. I'm like, really? I'm like, wow. And it's like, again, these little connections, they're not just actors, but they are people, and they have the things that they love.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I'm hearing hailing sequences are open. Yeah. Okay. I guess we're going to have to beam into a commercial break. All right. And then we'll be right back from Cloud9 to you. See you in a little bit.
Resistance is futile. And we are back. Hi, back on the Ricans. I'm Mo.
I'm Lou.
And we're having a fun time here. Dude, you just told me just recently you were just binge watching the Disco Season 5.
Yes. Oh, I love it so far. I've loved all of them.
Where are you up
to? Episode 5 I'm up to, which I'm gonna watch as soon as I get off of this. Yeah.
It's like, again, you're at 5. There's 5 to go. So you're gonna have baggy eyes. I know I'm gonna see. Is that baggy eyes, huh? Ay, ¿por qué te mandó?
Yeah,
you're doing those long nighters.
I'm gonna watch at least 3 more tonight. But it never disappoints me. None of them. None of the
No.
None of the series disappoints me in Star Trek.
Oh no. I mean, this show. I'm going to give it the kudo it really deserves. 'Cause I know people. I was at a panel where they were discussing Discovery, and you start hearing what they don't like. It's like that becomes more the thing that stands out. And I was like sitting there and I'm listening. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. So I got up, and I walked down and I said, you know what makes Star Trek? Characters. There's not. I mean, from the original series, the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, Discovery, Strange New Worlds, and yet soon, of course, Section 31 and Starfleet Academy. It's the thing that stands out that makes it so endearing are the characters.
I feel that Discovery should be a movie. Since it
Don't be
ended the five
surprised if
years.
it does.
Yeah, it has potential to be a
Mhm.
movie with a whole new characters, everything, because the show takes place in the future. The possibilities are endless.
Right. I mean, they're not ending, the 31st century with the ending of Discovery, because now you got Starfleet Academy. So one of the characters, Tilly, that's on the show, she is an instructor now at the new formed Starfleet Academy now. Because during that time of the burn, and people who've seen it. Oh, I just got noticed right now that from before, just to confirm here what I was saying before about the charity. The charity was the Trevor Project and Pan Can. So
Okay.
that is where the money went to for Trevor Project and Pan Can. So, but if you wish to donate, look them up. They are a worthy cause. And again, I took great pleasure in giving, doing that auctioneer thing for them. It was really fun. So getting back to what I was saying, Tilly is now Starfleet Academy. The burn took everything away. So they were basically just hiding and just handling whatever they can handle that, as far as their federation of planets that they were served to protect and take care of. So as
Right.
soon as they figured out what the burn was, and then they found a new source of dilithium, from that point forward, rebuilding. Like I think it was hence in season 4 when they introduced the new space dock in which they were going to create more ships for the fleet. And then, of course, then during that season 4, where Tilly then had the first 5 recruits for the academy. So again, that story is still going to continue, which I won't be surprised for best, guest stars popping in and out and just creating more stories that in the long run will branch out into other stories of other shows of its own or movies. Again, not putting that possibility out there that it's not going to happen. I remember was it shot when Patrick Stewart, when they were doing the Picard season 3 panel, it's like they was like saying, "Hey, you can born into movies. Never know." And I'm like, "Stop teasing us." I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
they got
we
they
definitely pay to see them.
they brought the band back together.
Yeah, and they did it in spurts, and then in the end, the producer and the producer slash writer that was working on it, huge, huge Next Generation fan. So that season 3 of Picard was pretty much his brainchild, and he brought in all the elements, and not just the Borg, the changelings, all the little nicks and knacks, Data lore, B4, Moriarty, all these things that made the next generation, and they brought it
Yeah.
in there, and even a little throw in with the original series because as you know, and I'm not spoiling anything, if you haven't seen Picard season 3, shame on you. But there's a scene in there in which they go, let's see, to Section 31's private facility, and in there they start coming across the things that they have captured.
Yeah.
One in particular was the actual prototype of the Genesis Wave device. They showed that. And then the other thing, which kind of like freaked me out because I was when the person was looking at it, Ralphie, she was looking at it, you hear the original series sound effects of a heartbeat, like it's
Yeah.
being monitored, and it just shows a skeleton with 2 broken ribs, and on the top of it or on the bottom of it, it says the body of James T. Kirk. So they had his body there in stasis or something. I'm just saying something, and it's there. Like and I'm like, uh-oh. I'm like, what? It's like, why are you throwing these Easter eggs in here, bro? You're getting me like, it's like my brain is frying as to what the possibilities could be. Especially in one of the books that you mentioned before with Shatner,
Yeah.
that showed Star Trek The Return, and it was the return of Kirk, but it was done by the Borg.
Yeah, man.
So again, inquiring Starfleet minds want to know. But
Yeah.
it was perfect. It was perfect that that they did that, and he was so intricate. And he let everything fall into place, and before you know it, it led up to the Borg. But the way they did it, it's like wow. That whole idea that when Picard was able to hear them, even though he was no longer part of the collective, was because they put something in his DNA already. That was something that then get passed on to his kid. 20 years later, which of course he had to find out 20 years later. Papa was a Rolling Stone. That's Picard for you. She didn't tell him, well, hey, welcome to our world in some ways.
Yeah.
But, but either way, it's just how he laid down the foundation to that. And then the very end, when they brought out the Enterprise D, I almost lost it. I mean, people were waiting for the Enterprise C, but I love how they all looked at Worf, and he goes, "It was not my fault." So somehow, and I read in some little insert that somehow something happened, and the Enterprise E was destroyed, and the person that was commander or captain at the time was Worf. It's like, oops. It's not his fault, but oops, either way. So
that's something I would like to see too, a Worf series.
well, as a future discussion when it comes to Star Trek comic books, something I won't let out just yet, but that possibility may happen. So when we do the talk about Star Trek comic books, I'll let you know why.
Okay.
Stay tuned on that one.
Okay. Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, they're all great characters. They all.
And in terms of the Patrick Stewart series, which ended, and Discovery, the people who are listening to us, the Ricans, which one would you feel more comfortable watching as a movie in theaters? Me, I'm gonna stick with Discovery.
I mean, I would love to see the Next Generation crew one more time in another adventure.
I don't want to see.
I would like to see them, but to tell you the truth, I would like to see, and I'm sure I'm not the first to say this. I want to see Star Trek Legacy, because remember, at the very end of Picard season 3, 7 of 9 became captain of the USS Enterprise G.
Yeah.
And Picard's son, who is her liaison, her security liaison, is on board that ship. And who pops up at the very end that you thought was dead?
Q.
Yes. Matter of fact, I even saw somebody dressed up as Q in there in the very first. Was it the first of was it Farpoint adventure? And he was dressed as the Inquisitor Q. And I was like, I'm standing on watching people around, and I saw him, and I said, Q! He turned around and said, don't do that. No, none of this. None of this snappy, no time, no. And he looked at me with that serious face and said, stop. And people were actually like looking at us, and we're having this interaction like, is he serious? Is this all serious? Is he going to his fingers? But yeah, it's like, I want to see that show. It's like,
I love the season where he slapped Picard.
I know. That's like, what? When they took him back into time, I mean, I get it now. Even towards the end, Q favored Picard.
Yes.
He learned a lot from him as far as humanity is concerned. So yeah, even though he told this kid, as far as I thought the trial was over for Picard, but for you, no, because I noticed with Q, he takes particular interest in things or in people that could change the course of history of humanity. And yes, they do keep an eye on them because, quite frankly, they do see that their potential is limitless in that respect. So, I mean, they've been there for over a millennia, omnipotent beings of power. So they understand at some point they're going to take over.
I was disappointed in the series, the old television series. Q was actually nervous and afraid of uh, Guinan's people.
Yeah,
I wish they delved into that a little deeper.
I too, because it's like when they did it in Picard, was I think season 2. I mean, okay, she's an Elorian. Okay, she's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
She has certain gifts, that's for sure. But for Q to be afraid, you got to be a little bit more powerful than that. So
yeah, it would have been
that being,
cool.
that being said, you know, it's interesting that they didn't delve into it more, and I think probably because I think they wanted to make it clear that they respected Earth's or humanity's how can I say, humanity's own um, trek to where they are. Because remember, Tenfold was a bar in Los Angeles, and it happened to be right in the middle of what would have been like a great homeless depression happening during that time. But in effect, changed. Like at that moment that Picard was there, something was to change all
Yeah,
of that, and it did. History got back on course to where it was supposed to be, not to where it was. And she's been, she's like the watcher of Marvel. Yatu stands, watches, doesn't engage. Well, he engaged once, but either way, he watches and pretty much watch as humanity come by. Does she interfere? I wouldn't say she interferes. I would say she might give a helpful nudge to say, let's say, if someone in her bar is someone of great consequence that would maybe change for the better.
she's a guide.
She's a guide, exactly, and just nudges them for them to realize on their own, not like that make them do it, but
Yeah,
realize on their own that something had to be done. I could see that. I could see that happening.
yeah, yeah. I've always wanted to see the Guinan and Q go.
Yeah, they almost did that first
Yeah,
time when they introduced it to the Borg. You're like, she was like, this, like, oh wait, she
yeah.
pulled out the claw. She gonna do something.
That would have been nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite episode of that was when they went back in time to the cowboy days, and
Oh, I remember that episode.
Picard
Yes.
was a playwright. Guinan
Mm-hmm.
didn't know anything about it. Clemens,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was one of my favorites.
There's like what, almost 7 years worth of stories. My favorite one and most heartbreaking one to watch was the episode where Data created the daughter Lol, and he created the first time he ever really created an android of his own likeness, and in a
They got
female form, the daughter, and he named her Lol, and she named herself Lol. But as she was developing, she I guess a little too fast, and her programming was causing a decay, and it was sad because it's like in the last moments she only recited the things that she remembered the most: flowers, kisses,
yeah,
love, and then oh man, that's like that. Oh, my
and then
heart was like,
they wanted him to give her up. They literally wanted him to give her up.
yeah, but she wasn't gonna. She wasn't going to let
No,
that happen, and that's what caused her that cascade because she was feeling emotion. It was something that Data did not knew he could do, but it did, and because the positronic brain couldn't function handling that, that's where she broke down. And he
yeah,
made sure that she was not dying in vain. He took everything she remembered, all her memory engrams, and incorporated it into himself. That's why I remembered in Picard season 3 is lore before him, and it did mention Lao.
yeah.
all the memory engrams of all those wrapped into one synthetic.
Yeah, that was good.
That was dope. But the one thing I think I was pissed I was pissed at it, and I even mentioned it the first year when I came across the actress on the first Trek Long Island. She's the one that played Data's, or like in the pictures, Data's daughter, like
Right.
the second one that was created, and that one there, I was hoping like at the very end of Picard season 3, like that episode where he's that scene where he's sitting with Troy and having that conversation with her, it's a session, and I'm thinking I would have loved it better if they would have said, open the scene up, and he says, and he's nervous as hell and he says, "Are you ready?" He says, "As ready as I'm gonna be."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
His data flared, and he stands up. The door whistles open, and it's her.
Yeah.
And
That would have been awesome.
oh my God, what? I mean, if you're gonna tie up an ending, that would have been perfect right then and there. I told her that. I said, "Yeah, I know. I wish they would have done that." I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "How could you not? The opportunity was there. The story was already there. All you had to do was bring them together."
Yep.
And that would have done it. That would have done it big time.
It would have been good to see.
Mm-hmm. It would have been good to see, but again, not that it's
we're not the
far off
writers.
the realm. Not that it's far off the realm of possibility. If, like you said, if the Next Generation had a movie, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm more inclined to go with Disco as well because I think there's more. There's just I love how they ended it, but I think there's more. And even however they ended, they still have that window gap in there where it's like there are stories from that ending to here that still left to be told. Still left to be told. You'll see what I mean when you get to the ending. You'll see what I mean. And those who've already seen it, you know what I mean. So I'm like, fingers crossed, praying to the Trek gods that hopefully they do something like this.
By the way, I saw an ad for the Game of Thrones, the Dragons thing, the second season. Not to change the subject, but I saw an ad.
I know. It's it's like winter is gone.
Yeah, January 16th. I was like, wow.
Winter will be coming again. Winter is coming.
Can't wait for that. Because I thought it would.
There's so many. I mean, like I said, and even Mandalorian Grogu. Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming back soon.
Yeah, Jedi mind trick still has lingering effects on you.
And then we got, and then we got next year. I can't wait for 2025.
Oh
Vader.
my God. So much content, so much great stuff to come down the pipeline. Like I said, I look forward to what the panels are going to be in Comic-Con because that's the time they plug in a lot of the stuff that's new coming in, and I'm looking forward to see what entertainment guests and panels are going to be there this year.
Yes,
what they're going to plug in, especially if there's a Trek panel. I'm there, bro. I got to find out what you have in store for us because you took away Disco, you left, and I'm not saying you left us with nothing because Strange New Worlds season 3 already signed for a season 4, and I'm like, yes.
And I'm pretty sure they're gonna replace Discovery with another show sooner than we think.
Well, that's Starfleet Academy.
Yeah,
because again, it's still taking place in the 31st century. But I want more. I'm sorry. It's like,
and it depends. I mean, when is it gonna come out too?
Well, from beforehand, the writer's strike made it very difficult, and it really set some timelines off as far as completion and getting things to production and out there because of this writer's strike. But now that it's over, the engine's beginning again and it's starting to roll. So I would not be surprised if things start coming a little bit more sooner in 25, more on time. But in light of the fact that Disney executives and others are trying to say, slow it down. Too much content. Some of it is not agreeable with the fans. So go back to the drawing board or put some of these things on hold and take your time with the stuff you're bringing out because it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And that's, to me, I agree, quality work. I'm not saying that most of the stuff that they came out is total crap, but it could have been better.
Yeah, no, they're one of
It
the
could have
best.
been a lot better.
Ahsoka could have been better.
I actually look. If I had to compare the Marvels and Ahsoka, I would take Ahsoka over the Marvels any day. Be honest with you, because though I like the Marvels, I didn't love it. I thought it needed some more. I
Just
do
because
like
of
the twist at the end, especially with that end credit scene. But that was the only thing that was like, oh damn, oh yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
it's because of people like you. I don't watch Marvels.
But that's the thing. It's not because of the characters. It's just because that when they went into production, they were trying to roll out. They're in phase 5. Okay, here's the next thing. Here's the TV. Now they're limited to you got one TV on, one movie, done, or two movies and one TV. That's great because now everybody is focused on getting this one to where it is, and this TV show getting this one to where it's like was it Daredevil Reborn got had some reshoots and stuff to be redone. I
Yeah,
mean the band is back, but they're redoing it, and I think they're doing it back to the dark way that it was in the very beginning when it was on Netflix, which is good because we're the fans of that and we loved it that way.
speaking of
And we're
Netflix,
mhm.
they got Godzilla -1. Came out this week. Yes, I didn't see it yet. I didn't
Finally,
see it yet, so I'm gonna get on that soon. Yeah, I
you
was dying
haven't
for that.
seen it.
No,
Oh, I want to spoil you so bad right now, but you know
no,
what?
Mo.
No,
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 no.
no, no.
I'm gonna,
I'm gonna say this much. It is a even though it's subtitled, unless of course they come up with a dub version of it, but it didn't earn its Academy Award for just. I mean, even though it won it for special effects, and I got to give it they're great, but the story was very heartfelt, and there are scenes in there that you just want to just go, damn, it hits you. It
yeah,
really hits you. It's not like I said when we were kids, we were watching kaiju films like, oh, you're the monsters,
yeah,
yay!
yeah,
And now the humans are talking or whatever. The monsters are fighting, yay!
yeah.
Not this. This was, even though Godzilla was a highlight, yo, it's Godzilla, but everything else, you go, oh my god, oh
Okay.
my god! You start like, I mean, it starts. You really get connected and start feeling for these people, for them, and what they're going through, and like, whoa, just whoa. I mean, there are moments, there are happy moments. I'm not gonna lie, there are happy moments, and it's great, and they come in just in the right time. So you go from yeah to oh my god, yes, yes, I love it. Oh, tear in the eye, my god,
Yeah, no, I'm
that
gonna
kind
sit
of
down.
feeling. Mm-hmm.
After Discovery, I'm gonna sit down and watch it.
Trust me, it is a watch. I mean, it doesn't put the full focus on the monster.
Okay.
Yes, he is a force of nature. Yes, he comes at a friggin' bad time. But the story is more about the people and what they're going through and how they're going to deal with the situation. The devastation of war has an impact on people. Sometimes people don't look at that, but this movie force gets you to see that
Okay.
in a certain way that you go, wow, I would never have thought that. Never have thought that. And that's how you get connected. Once you get connected like that, even when you see the monsters, then you just go, oh damn, you go from bad to worse. Now Godzilla's here. What do you do? What do you do? That's all I gotta tell you, bro. Because when you sit down and watch this, you will see what I mean.
I can't wait to
You
sit
will
down and
see what
watch
I
it.
mean.
I
You
cannot
know,
wait.
I was like, when I watched the Academy Awards, I was like, okay, here it comes. Best visual effects, okay. And then they said Godzilla -1. I said they won it. They won it. They did. They really did. Because this
I'm
is
gonna.
not a guy. I will spoil this much. There's not a guy in the suit. No guy in the suit. They went
Oh,
CGI with this, and let me tell you,
nice.
there are certain other things that they created, but the overall visual effects. That's all I gotta say, bro. Because I was like, wow,
Nice.
wow. I was wowed by it, bro. I was like, and it made and it really enhanced the story. I mean,
Okay.
since the days of CGI being incorporated, a lot of stories that we never thought we would have seen with some of the cheesy special effects now with CGI, it gives new life to it, especially
Right.
like comic books, fantasy art, vampires, werewolves, all like now because of CGI, it gives an extra dimension that of oh wow, and then the story goes from oh wow to oh damn. It's like now you're more involved because the creation that is brought to the screen, and you would never have thought. I mean,
Yeah,
would
I can't wait. Like I said, I can't wait to see it because I know it's gonna be
oh yeah, it's gonna be huge.
awesome.
Like without CGI, would Lord of the Rings be as great as it was without those effects? You know,
No, no. Even the cartoons sucked.
mm, see what I mean? It's like with the Lord of the Rings now, this one, and with the CGI involved, it enhanced the story. It made and it's Smeagol, my precious. You know
Yeah.
that CGI character alone, people relate to it and and connect with. And it's like it's a CGI character,
Yeah. No.
but it made the story. It
Yeah.
enhanced the story. Put it that way. I love it. I love it, and I can't wait for more to come. I mean, yeah. What was it? Actually, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do when next month comes with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh,
Because the more
that's
stuff that's advertised, the more I'm going,
that's the first. That's the first Deadpool I'm gonna watch in a theater.
In the theater,
In a theater.
they still have chairs. There's a big screen, but if you go to stay away from the 4K one for you because once they strap you in, you're done, bro. You're done. Think of it as a unit. It's like my brother took me to see Godzilla X Con
Yeah.
4K. I felt
Yeah.
like I was at Universal Studios, bro. I didn't see a
No,
movie. It was a ride. It was one
I did
hell
that.
of a ride, but
I
it
did
was
that with.
still a ride.
Remember Avatar when it first came out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's. Now I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's fake.
But now when you look at the new live animated series, not animated, the more live action series, and how they managed to
No, no.
recreate.
I'm talking about the blue guys.
Oh, those.
Yeah, yeah,
But he waited. You know, he waited 10 years for the technology to create those characters to
yeah,
come up, and then waited another 10 for the stuff that he wanted to envision, so that the technology would catch up to envision that. So when the next one comes, I mean, I don't think it's going to take 10 years because now I think they're going back to back with that, and because now the technology exists to create what's in his head and bring it up to the screen.
yeah. Because I heard he wrote at least 3 more. Yeah. Let's see.
So we're talking franchise here, bro. It's
Yeah,
already a franchise. It's going to be now a bigger one if he's got 3 more in mind for it.
yeah.
I'm
So
like, that's going to be huge. That's going to be
yeah.
huge. But that's the beauty of these movies now because back in the days it was either Jim Henson's animatronics for certain characters, and you had these guys remote controlling, or you had guys in suits, and some of it was good, and some of them blended both. Like Underworld blended both. They blended the CGI and the guys in the suit, and they did it well. It was
Well,
seamless.
now that you bring it up, are they ever coming out with another Dark Crystal?